Hi guys, Miss Karen coming to you with your second virtual sewing class. Sorry if your package has not arrived yet or was delayed. It was a little puffy for the post office, I'm told. But anyways, what I'd like to just start with is I'm packaging the rest of your lessons in one big package like this. Okay, so if you haven't received the mask and the bandana challenge, that will also be in there, or it's delayed and will show up soon. But we're gonna start with making our mask. Of course, we have to use some glamorous fabric because we are so fabulous. And so you'll start with your fabric. There's a filter in there, okay? And you're going to sew a line of stitching. You could just follow right down the center there. Running stitch. I would do small stitches, no bigger than the squares, and try to keep them no further apart than the size of the squares. So the squares will be really easy for you to follow. Do the top and then do the bottom. I've already pinned them for you, okay? So when you're done stitching those, you're going to take your pins out and you're going to put them back in your pin cushion. So we always start with threading our needle. I'm using pink today, so we're going to get rid of the yellow. I have my pink. I'm going to thread it. I have my handy dandy pin cushion, and look at right here, my needle threader is handy, and then I have a few extra pins right there. As I remove my pins, I'm going to slide them into my pin cushion like that. The reason I don't put them in like that is, look, it comes right through and it pokes you. That's the voice of experience telling you that. So put that right back there. I'm gonna get my needle threaded and we'll get started. Okay, I've got my thread, I've got my needle, and I've got my needle threader. Some people might not need to use a needle threader because the eye of the needle would be big enough. This one is not. Look how tiny that is. So I'm going to use my needle threader and I'm going to put it through the eye of the needle. Okay, bearing in mind that that's just a tiny little piece of wire. So when you pull it back through, don't pull it through like your life depends on it. Just be gentle, okay? And what also helps is if you move your fingers to the wire when you pull it through. Here we go. And then you take your needle, or your needle threader, grab your pin cushion, put it right back into its little nest. There you go. And then we will thread our needle. Got it like this. We bring our ends even. Okay, needle here. Put our knot on this end, so pinch your fingers. Pinch your fingers. Here's my hand, but I'm coming in upside down. I'm going to make a loop, put the end through the loop. Try to get it to be as close as you can to the end of the thread. Okay, now I'm ready to go. So there's that. I grab my pin fabric right here. And I'm going to start stitching the top. And what you want to do is you want to take your needle and come from the inside, because you want your knot and any of your work that is going to be shown to be on the inside. So the outside will be beautiful. So pull it all the way through until the knot hits the fabric. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back down. So remember, it's the up, down stitch. Pull it through. Okay, and then come back up. Make sure your threads are pulled tight. Use the blocks as your guide. Pull it all the way through. So that was up. Here we go down. Okay, so here we go. You can barely see it because it's a great thread match. But those are my first 2 stitches. I'm going to stitch all the way along the top. Ouch. Not poke myself in the finger. Okay, all the way to there. So let me do that. Be right back. All right, so I've stitched my line of stitching. There's my knot. Here's my needle. I'm at the end, but my needle's on the outside of the fabric, the good side. So I want to do one more stitch to bring it back in. Okay, pull it all the way through so it's snug. I have that much thread left. It's not going to be enough to stitch the other side, so I'm going to leave ample thread to tie off that knot. I'm going to set my needle into my pin cushion for a second, and I'm going to take these threads and I'm going to tie them into a knot simply by crossing them like I'm tying my shoes, the first part, and then you just do it again. Turn this around so you can see better. Okay, and then you pull it tight. Now those 2 ends can be snipped away close to the knot. Get rid of that. You can also do that at the end. Okay, so you take your pins out, you put them in your pin cushion, and you have your first line of stitching done. Your knots are both inside, which is beautiful. Now go to the other side, do the same thing, which means you'll have to thread your needle again, so you need your needle threader. And you can do this. Threading your needle several times is good practice. It's great fine motor skills, which we need to continue to develop throughout our life. So, always good. Here's the needle threader. Put it through the eye of the needle. Okay, remembering that it's just a little tiny wire. I'm going to put my end through there. Pull it through a little bit. And then I'm going to pull through and grab the wire to pull the thread through, because it takes a little oomph. Not much, just a little. Put that back into my pin cushion. Put my ends even. And pull my thread straight. And again, we're going to tie our ends. Put your 2 ends together. All right, needle down here. Ends, pinch your fingers, come in upside down, make a loop, put the end through. Bam. Okay, let's stitch our next side. Again, remember, we're going to go to the inside of the fabric. We're going to use the squares as a guide. So we're going to start right here. The first one, we're going to poke it through right there. And then pull it through till the knot hits the back. There we go. Got a little snafu. Because you know what? In sewing, snafus will happen. That's why we use our problem-solving skills. And just try to get your thread to behave. Right now, it's not. Okay, I just got to get my needle straight here. there we go. So a little patience. Bam, and so I got it where I wanted it. So if your thread starts to tangle, you have to stop right away, because if you pull it tight, it's over, because it'll start to tangle, and if it gets knotted so tight that you can't take it out, it's a mess. Okay, so I'm going to stitch my line of running stitch. It's the up, down stitch, okay, and you're going to do that all along. Let's see here, there's my stitches all along the bottom. Okay, so be right back. All right, friends, so I'm at the other end. Again, my thread is on the outside, the good side of the fabric. I want it to be on the inside, so I need to do one more stitch, which means I'll poke my needle back through so it's on the inside, just like so. And then I'm going to cut my threads off, leave enough thread so you have enough to tie it. Go ahead and put your needle into the pin cushion from the side and put our little needle threader. Keep it right there so you know where it's at when it's time. And so now what I would do is trim all the threads. Okay, from this corner, I'm going to trim them. Wait a second. That's where we need to tie it. Tie it first, like you're tying your shoes. Once, and the second time, cross them, put the end through, pull it tight. Here's your knot. Now you cut those ends off. Okay, get rid of that. Cut these off close to the knot, but far enough away so the knot will stay. Okay, there's another thread. I'm going to snip it off. There we go. And I still have my pins in, so I'm taking those out. Putting them into my pin cushion. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is inspect my work. Ooh, nice. I have 2 lines of stitching, one on that side, one on that side. So you can determine which, it doesn't really matter. It can be, this can be the top, this can be the top, it can be the bottom, doesn't matter. But now this is what you have. So I would like you to take about 2 rows of squares and fold it over like that, okay? You are going to lay this down on the table, and I want you to lay your elastic right inside of here. That's what's going to go around your ear, and this is going to be a tunnel. So let me lay this down. Okay, so your elastic's going to go right there. You're going to fold over 2, and you're going to pin that in place. Okay, so make sure your elastic is in there. Fold over 2 squares. Here's my elastic. And I'm going to pin it towards the outside because I'm actually pinning it right here, sticking it through. It might be a little hard, but that's all right. You're strong, and then push it through. So there we have that. And actually, I'm going to move my pen over a little bit. You can sew right over the pins because they glide right out. Okay, so now I've got my elastic in there, and my goal is to stitch down the center of this row, okay? And then you'll do the same thing on the other end. Put your elastic right here. fold it over, pin it in place. You're gonna pin it under the elastic, a little bit away from the edge of the fabric, because you're gonna be sewing closer to the edge of the fabric. Okay, and pinning it not only will keep your fabric in place, it'll keep your elastic from falling into the line of stitching. Okay, so let's stitch those ends. Gotta thread your needle again, so let's go, friends. Okay, so I stitched down the first side like that. Can you see my stitches? Not really, there's one. Okay, so you can take these pins out, put them in your pin cushion, do the other end. Of course, you have to tie off. You have to tie off your thread and thread your needle again. We love this fine motor control, hand-eye coordination. It's awesome. All right, so I've gotten both lines of stitching on each end. We have our elastic. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna center up our elastic, put the ends together. Again, it's like tying the knot at the end of your thread. Grab it with your pincher fingers, make a little loop, and put the ends through. What you want to happen is you want to grab the ends and you want to push the knot towards the end, because these should be pretty close to fitted to your head size, okay? And we want to pull that tight, slowly, making sure. Okay, so there's that. And I'm going to pull it around so the knot goes inside. So into our little tunnel. This is a tight tunnel. Maybe I need to go to the other side. Yeah, better side over here. So watch this. There goes my needle into the tunnel. Okay, tails and everything. So there's one side, and do that to the other. Bring your ends together, center it up, bring your ends together. Make a little loop and put your ends through. Okay, grab those ends again, and then use your thumb to push up to the end. You can always make it smaller or bigger. All right, so there's that, and again, I'm gonna pull it so my ends disappear. If you're having a problem, you can always trim your ends as well, but say goodbye. This one's kind of stuck. Come on, buddy. I'm gonna snip those off because we don't need them. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so now you have this. And you can try it on. Okay, so this is a little large on me. Right here, my strings are too long. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it off, and I'm gonna find my knot. Where's my knot? You can feel it, right there it is. Pull it back out. And you can just snip that little knot off, and we're gonna do one more. And again, we're gonna try to put it towards the end of the knot, grabbing the ends, pushing the knot towards the end of the ends there, okay? And you can wait to twist it to make sure it fits. So this one needs to be cut down a little, so I'm gonna find my knot, it's right there. I'm gonna pull it back out. There it is. Okay, so I'm gonna trim that off. And grab my ends again. Actually, you gotta center it up. There, like put your ends together. It's going to gather on the ends, which is perfectly fine because that's what creates the fittedness of this thing. Okay, pull your knot to the very end. Okay, let's try this on first. Take the glasses off. I've got too much stuff to wear on my face. Okay, oh, much better. There you go. Pull it down. Put the glasses back on. Ooh. Ooh, Karen. Beautiful. Ah, I love it. It's gorgeous. So anyway, some of you may have gotten the mermaid fabric. Same deal. Stitch the top and the bottom and then create your tunnel and putting your elastic through the ends. All right. Now that you know it fits, you can also twist your knots into the tunnel so you can't see them. Okay. There you go. And then you have your beautiful mask. And then when this one's done, it's going to look something like this. Okay, friends, so that is your mask challenge. Well done. Okay, moving on to the bandana challenge. Sure, everybody has a few of these. I sent everybody a type of bandana, and one of the very basic skills for sewing is learning how to drape fabric. And people use dress forms, obviously bigger than this. I've just been playing around draping fabric on it, and they pin it into place. What we're going to be doing today is I'm going to show you a few tricks with the bandana that you can use during the epidemic, so you can protect yourself if you don't have your mask. You can always just use the bandana. And what I've done is I've folded it in half, but in a triangle like that. Okay. And basically you just want, the first thing is fit it around to your face like a bandito or a bandit and tie that in place. Okay, so this can be one way that you can wear it. And then when you don't want to have it on, you just pull it down. Let's take her hair out. And you can have it around your neck, and then, oh, I need it. Ta-da!